Here we go. All right, today is lipstick cycling 25X. And you can go ahead and hit the first song right now, which is called Left Eye Left. And we're going to start 5 minutes of super easy. All right, let's get this game on. So today we're focusing on VO2 max, but in total we've only got about 7.5 minutes of VO2 max today. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. It's actually a lot. So let's get our RPM around 80, 85, something comfortable. We got to break the seal in the morning. Now that the heart rate is starting to come up, just take deeper breaths every once in a while. Julia, you made it.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm screaming to the kids.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I did it through the computer now, so it's fine.
I guess that's what you have to do if you can't figure out the phone.
Yes. I'm gonna do it like this. I have to run to the kids and then I'm back.
Okay. All right, so we've got a girl party today. All of our music is female singers, and it's a bit retro. Sorry that Allie's not here. She would super appreciate it, but maybe y'all will appreciate it as well. We're gonna do a warm-up, a very long warm-up, and then the main event is 10 45-second pushes to zone 5. So above the threshold, above the red line. If you remember your heart rate when we were doing the threshold testing, if it was around 150, I need you to go above that. But I don't need you to go above that a lot. These are not sprints. We'll talk more about it when we get to it. Right now, I'll just tell you the warm-up structure. So the warm-up structure today is 1.5 minutes, 3 minutes, 4.5, 3 minutes, 1.5 minutes. So it's a little pyramid. Every time we add 90 seconds and then we subtract 90 seconds. Recoveries are just a minute. When all is said and done, we will take about a 5-minute rest before we start VO2 max. So check in. You want to make sure the shoulders are down, elbows are soft, legs are spinning out beautiful circles. You're breathing, inhale, exhale, bringing that oxygen in. VO2 max is volume of oxygen. So this is what we're talking about today. You're gonna breathe in and let your body absorb some of that oxygen. And this is gonna kick off our weekend. Happy Friday. All right, so the first 1.5 minute interval, or 90-second interval, is gonna be 30 seconds of seated flat. Then we'll add resistance and make a climb, but stay seated. And then we'll come up. So we're not gonna come up until the end, the last 30 seconds. And this is your first interval, right? So the first interval is lovely. It's never hard. I'm not sure I've ever done a training session where it was necessary to hit the first interval hard. So wherever you are now, you're just gonna add a layer. And we're gonna continue to add layers until we build up to the top, to the peak. Take a few last deep breaths. And if your song did not change, it should have. On the radio, Donna Summer should be starting to play. All right, y'all. I want you to get up into the 90s on your RPM and add a little bit. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. So we're on a flat road and we're pushing a little. We've just added a layer. And now I want you to reach down and add resistance. Take your RPM down to the 60s. Same effort, just slower. Keep going, y'all. Now in about 10 seconds, you're gonna come out of the saddle and continue to climb. You might need another gear. 3, 2, 1. Add a gear, come on up. This is a happy climb. This should feel good. And you only have about 10 seconds left to go. Three, 2, and you're done. As always, we take a minute. So lighten up, take the RPM down into the 80s or up into the 80s. And feel that decompression. Heart rate's going down. So now, for the next interval, we're gonna do that 2 times. So it's seated flat, seated climb, standing, seated flat, seated climb, standing. You got about 10 seconds. RPM is gonna come up into the 90s. You're gonna add a gear. 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's add another happy layer to this feeling. You might still be in zone 2 on these pushes. That is absolutely fine. And there's a little hill in front of you. Reach down and add a gear. There it is, slow your legs. In about 10 seconds, we're gonna get out of the saddle. This might not be harder than the last interval, but it is longer, which technically makes it harder. 3, 2, come on up. And I know your mics are muted, but Olive, a lot of this music is inspired by Pose. You told me to watch it on Netflix, and it's good. 3, 2, seated flat, it's not over. Lighten up, hit the 90s. If it feels too hard, lighten up or slow down. If it feels too easy, do the opposite. Seated climb, 3, 2, add. RPM 60s, right? By now, I don't even have to tell y'all. You know what a hill feels like. In 10 seconds, we get out of the saddle. And then this interval is over in 30. Ready, set, up. I am still in zone 2, by the way, and I'm gonna stay there for a while because I need a longer warm up. Eight, 7, 6, 3, 2, done. All right, 1 minute recovery. All right, so if you need water, if you need to sit up for a second, all of that is done here. The next interval is 4.5 minutes. We're gonna do this one different. So we're gonna go all uphill. All right, this one is gonna start out of the saddle, and get ready because it's about to go down. Add gears, standing climb in 3, 2, 1. And again, I'm gonna stay in zone 2. This interval is not necessarily harder. It could be if you wanna add a layer, but it is longer, so it is a little stronger. In 10 seconds, seated climb. And continue the climb, just have a seat so that you're not using body weight anymore. Feel the legs pushing through resistance, pushing through the resistance. The next time we come up, it'll be for a minute. In 3, 2, and 1. 1 whole minute of out of the saddle now. You're always welcome to stay seated. This interval has yet another 3 minutes to go. Stay where you are. In about 10 seconds, we have a seat and we continue to climb. All right, bring it in. So 1 minute in the saddle. The RPM is 60s-ish. I never usually recommend anything less than 60. The only reason we would do that is if we're going heavy and steep to try and do some strength for the legs. But really, try never to drop below 60. We like the music. I I get my music all over the place. This one, my friend Robin was in her car and this song came on, so she started recording and I saw that post and I stole it. All right, 3, 2, you can come back up. 90 seconds to go, so we're up for 30. Everlasting love. Keep going. 3, 2, have a seat. 30 seconds seated. We still have a minute. In 8 seconds, you can get out of the saddle. If you want, you can add a gear and push harder and give yourself a little extra layer. 3, 2, up. In 15, we take a break. Three, 2, woo. Take the weight off. You have a minute. All right, so that was our longest interval. 4.5 minutes. Next interval is 3. If you need water or anything, do it now. You guys actually never do this, but taking water or wiping sweat like this in the middle of an interval is against the law. You might as well light up a cigarette. I'm not kidding. It is mental weakness. If we're in the middle of something and you're like, oh, let me get a drink, you know, that is a little too soft. And we want to be hard. Hard in the mind, hard in the body. All right, we did this already, the 3-minute interval, seated flat, seated hill, and then we get up twice. 90s RPM, let's gear it up. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're back to doing a little bit of speed here. You already did this interval, you know it. I am still in zone 2. It's just how I feel this morning. And reach down, add a gear, slow the legs, we're climbing. In 10 seconds, standing climb. You may or may not need another gear. 3, 2, 1. Come on up. So you definitely want colors in your training. You don't want to always do red or blue. You want to do violet, yellow, orange, white, black, all the colors. Flat road is coming in 3, 2, 1, have a seat. So I'm gonna take this out of zone 2 now, I have to. Seated in the 90s. I'm gonna push a little harder. So I'm shooting up to zone 3. Breathing is heavier. And reach down, add a gear. We're climbing. You have 1 minute to go. You got a red line just a little before the main set starts, main event. Now when I come out of the saddle, I'm gonna shoot for zone 4. 3, 2, out of the saddle for 30. Push harder. 20. 10. 3, 2, done. Take a minute. All right. Whew. The last interval is a minute and a half. It is just a seated flat. We're gonna go 90, 100, 110. And you're gonna try to hit zone 4 right at the beginning or at the end. You can build it. But try to hit zone 4. Just get to that 1 or 2 syllable breathing pattern. Take one more deep breath before we go. Hit the 90s RPM and gear it up. 3, 2, 1. Come on, this is 90. My computer's broke. Ah. If you don't have a computer, you're thinking fast, faster, fastest. Ready, set, speed up, y'all. A minute to go. Think about your goals. This last 30 seconds for everyone needs to hurt a little. Ready, set, fastest. It's only 30 seconds. You should be up around 110. Ah. 8, 7. Done. All right, y'all. Take a break. Your song should have changed. If it did not, we're on test 7. Test 7. All right, 5 minutes to recover. So we actually got through most of the class already. The warm-up was long. The main event is short. It's 10 minutes of work. Well, it's 10 minutes long, 7.5 of which you push. The other 2.5 are recoveries, but you are barely going to be recovering. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about VO2 max. VO2 max is zone 5. This is above your lactate threshold, above your anaerobic threshold, which is zone 4. The reason we're going to train zone 5 is to lift up zone 4. So 5 is on top of 4. When 5 goes up, 4 doesn't just sit there. No, that doesn't happen like that. When 5 goes up, it brings 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 with it. It's just the way it works. So in zone 5, you really can't speak. That is just like not possible. It's called the pain cave. Like, we're going in the pain cave. It's going to be really uncomfortable. It's going to hurt a little bit, not just physically, but mentally. But it is not a sprint, okay? So zone 5, let's call it an effort that you can do for 5 minutes when you're fit as shit. You can hang out in that pain cave for 5 minutes. Today we're going to do 7.5, but we're going to break it up. We're going to go 45 on and then 15 rest. 45 on and 15 rest. And just so we don't have to think too much, we're going to do the first 3 flat, then we'll go to some hills, then we'll go to flats, and I'll give you the last one. You do whatever you want with it. All right, so what is VO2 max? Volume of oxygen consumption. So it is actually how many milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of body weight you are absorbing per minute. Milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of body weight per minute. The average woman is like 30 to 35. Professional cyclists, females, are around 80, 85. Yeah, so we're like 30. Professional women, they're like 80. And the way this is usually tested in a lab is with a mask on your face. And what happens is they measure the oxygen you breathe in versus how much of it you spit out. So if we breathe in 100, just using numbers we can understand, and we absorb 30, we spit out 70. Professional athlete breathes in 100, absorbs 80, just spits out 20. So they have absorbed a lot of oxygen, and oxygen is what's used to create energy, to create that, right? So let's improve that zone. All right, this is my last explanation of what is about to go down. 45 on, 15 rest, 10 times. First 3 are seated flats, so you don't have to think. Then we'll head into hills. RPM, 90s. All right, let's go to some Lady Gaga. Bad Romance is the next song. Go ahead and hit it. Bad Romance. Take your last deep breath and get ready. We're going in 10 seconds. 90s RPM, geared up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Try to get above your threshold. Twenty. 10. 3. Done. Just a note, the instructor never gets to go there because we have to talk to you, but I'm trying. 3, 2, again. Come on, this is Number 2. Twenty. 10. 3. Done. Exactly the same. One more time. Ready, set, go. How uncomfortable are you? 20. 10. 3. Done. Seated climb. 60s or 70s. On your mark. Get set. Go for it. Slower, heavier. Zone 5. Twenty. 10. 3. Done. 2 more exactly like that. 60, 70 seated. On your mark, get set, go. This is number 5 out of 10. Twenty. 10. 'Done. Oh God. I take it back. I think the instructor's working as hard as you. 3, 2, go. Same thing, seated climb, but this is the last one. Sing it, Pink. Mm. 15. 10. 3. Done. All right, standing climb to seated flat. That's the next 3 intervals. Get ready, gear it up. 3, 2, standing climb. Zone 5, y'all, come on. Shit is not optional. You showed up. Get it done. 3, 2, have a seat but flat. 90 to 100. Eight, 7, 6. Done. 2 more of those. Standing climb to seated flat. Listen, y'all. 3 more intervals and we're done. Coming up. 3, 2, 1. Don't take it easier. Come on. Ready, set, seated flat. Go for it. 15. 90s RPM, Jules. I see you. 3, 2, done. You can do whatever you want. 1 more of those. 60s, 90s. 3, 2, 1. Come on, we only got 2 more. Come on. Ready, set, have a seat. 90s. 10. 3, 2. The last one, whatever you want to do. Hill, flat, up, down. We're going in. 3, 2, 1, hit it. Come on, make this your best one. Add a gear if you want it. 10. 3, 2. You're done. Go ahead and hit the next song. It's called Test 7. We're gonna recover for 5 minutes. And then we do an easy climb and we're out of here. Whew, oh my gosh. All right, we still have over 4 minutes to recover. And then what we're gonna do is detox by doing a zone 2 climb. Right now, do your best to get down to zone 1, but ride it down. So by training zone 5, you teach your body how to absorb more of the oxygen you breathe in. Truth be told, genetics plays a huge part. Unlike lactate threshold, which is very trainable, VO2 max is a little more, you're born with it. So some people are born for endurance, some are born for explosive speed, short hits. But you can retrain what you were born with a little bit. So we just did it. All right, I feel better. So I'm just gonna pedal in the 80s. I'm even gonna put a gear back on. It's been 2 minutes, we have 3 to go. So you can't always do what I say, right? Sometimes you come here and that is number one. Just showing up is number one. That is the highest level of caring about your fitness and caring about yourself. So if you have to pedal slower than I'm asking, or if you have to get out of the saddle when I'm telling you to stay seated, like, I get it. But just notice within yourself if it's a pattern or not. Because in cycling, you've got to learn to push heavy and slow, but you've got to learn to push it fast. I would almost start practicing speed of turnover before I would try to get real strong. Same thing with running. When you run, you should be hitting about 90, 95 steps a minute. And instead of teaching someone to go fast, I would teach them fast turnover, tiny little steps, but fast turnover until the muscles can do it, no problem, right? So every once in a while, you just ask yourself, oh, am I drifting because I can't focus today, or because I'm not feeling great today, or am I just doing what I want to do? This bike I can't do it with, but at Equinox, when I used to teach my classes, and I never told my students this, but I could change the resistance with my knee. So I could just, while I was on a standing climb, I could reach my knee over and hit it and lighten it up. It's a knob, and I would turn it. My right knee would make it easier, my left knee would make it harder. So if I wanted to ease up, nobody knew I was doing it. Not every day is a great day. So that one is a little hard to take heart rate on. Next Friday, we're gonna go to zone 5 again, but we're gonna try to take the heart rate when we're doing it. It's very hard because you're like, you know, it's like someone's punching you in the head and you're trying to get a sip of water. It's like those two things don't go together. Oof, that scared me. The wind closing all the doors in my house, or maybe it's a ghost, I don't know. All right, we're about ready to go for this climb. Diana Ross. The next song is called I'm Coming Out. Go ahead and hit it. And I'm gonna give you total freedom. Sit or stand, mix it up, do a little of each, but we're climbing easy zone 2 in 3, 2, 1. Geared up, let's climb. Now I want you to enjoy this one. It's a 5-minute climb. Much like the first or second interval we did in the warm-up. Right, it's that feeling. You can do it all seated, all standing. The main goal here, by the way, is to raise the heart rate a little bit, to catch all the hard work we just did and pull it back down. So this is going to help you feel a little less sore tomorrow. One minute down, 4 to go. Just enjoy it, y'all. You can move in and out every 10 seconds if you want to, right? Whatever feels good. Two minutes in, 3 to go. If it's too easy, add gear. If it's too hard, lighten up. If you need a deep breath, take it. Halfway there. Yesterday, I cycled up to a cemetery, kind of above La Villeta. So I left Palma and I went direction La Villeta, and a little bit past it, there are these trails in the mountain. And I always could see this cemetery, but I found the entrance and I went in. So cute, tiny. Not as tiny as Dea. That's a tiny cemetery. You have 90 seconds. You should be starting to feel good. Even though we're working, it's light. And you have 45 seconds to your finish line. It's at the top of a hill. What's waiting for you up there? If you could put a present for yourself at the top with a big red bow on it, what is it? This is 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Your song should have changed. We're on the last song, never enough. Just take the weight off. We finish up with Miss Kelly Clarkson. All right, y'all. You could stay on. I'm just going to say goodbye to the internet and end the recording. It's amazing. I don't know how to do this yet. Stop. Stop.